Greetings, all you maniacs, minds, and grinds. Welcome back to another Warframe weapon showcase. We are going to be revisiting an old weapon that I now have completely min-maxed to hell, the Hema. The weapon that gives you the good suck. Anyway, so I have a riven for this weapon. And oh man, is it the best riven roll I've ever had. Damage, critical chance, critical damage, minus mag capacity. Minus mag capacity, bit of a problem. Because without wildfire, I only have 34 rounds. And it's a 3-round burst weapon. That's a bit of a problem. But this is the first build, heat, viral, and corrosive, because this thing has an 8 viral. And I have a 100 munitions build, and I have a... Was it heat viral? No, it's just... Yeah, this build with the even more critical damage, but I'll change it around a bit. Anyway, so first build. Don't worry, Banshee has nothing on her. Wait, does she? What do you have on you? Ah. Anyway, so I'm not going to be going to the steel path because there's no point. This weapon will do okay, but it's not really designed for the steel path, even with this amount of power. And Warframe buff. Well, with Warframe buffs, it would be fine. But anyway. Yeah, this weapon is pretty potent with this riven. But of course, it does have a really high riven to this position. If that was even English. And, yeah, I'll show you a very interesting thing about this weapon. When you use gas with it. Anyway, so that is that build. And then we switch on over to the first 100 munitions build, which is literally just the same build as before, just no heat, and instead we have 100 munitions. And yeah, the bleeds are decent. I mean, it bleeds enough to get the job done. Viral stacks go really quick. So yeah. Do I 100% recommend this weapon? It's an interesting weapon. It's definitely unique, but I really, really wish that it had something extra. And obviously, I could re-roll the riven and get rid of that minus magazine capacity. But anyway, and then this one where the critical chance is only coming from the riven. I have no critical chance mod. It's all critical damage with the riven. So yeah, crits are a bit less common, which means slashes are less common. But 7.5 times critical multiplier is quite large. Anyway. So, let's instead take off 100 munitions and instead put viral heat. So for that, I'm just going to put on wildfire, and I'm also going to put on the point strike mod. Now, like this, I would have to form this weapon like another time to be able to put on I don't know, like extra heat damage or something. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. Because it's merely okay like this. It's merely okay. So, okay, the thing with the Hema, let me actually just delete this build and just go back to this build. The thing with the Hema, it's a fine weapon, but because it lacks IPS, it's not good against shields, and it's not very good against armor. Because people don't realize this. A weapon is good against Corpus if it has high impact. And high impact weapons usually just wreck Corpus because that's how impact works. It destroys their shields really, really quickly. This weapon is basically only doing viral damage. which is fine, but it also doesn't have crit stats. If this thing had like an 80% critical multiplier, if it had like 80% critical chance, then it could get away with only having elemental. Anyway, I mentioned gas damage, and gas damage of this weapon works kind of interesting. So let's just put on gas. Now, if you're going to be using this thing against infested, I would not recommend it because viral doesn't do very well. But anyway, you hear that? It's healing me no matter what. So I'm actually going to swap to a frame that can hurt themselves. So Garuda, because, you know. So take off some of my health, and then am I the only one that think that's kind of interesting? That with gas damage, you can just headshot an enemy and you'll be getting some health back. I think that's pretty cool. Now, granted, it's not a lot of health because that's how the Hema works, but it is definitely kind of interesting at least. So now I am going to show it with mag, because this weapon actually works pretty well with mag. It's actually also kind of interesting with mag because it tends to headshot with her bubble. And because I punch throw on this weapon and all of that stuff, so yeah, it works pretty well with mag. It's not the best mag weapon, but it definitely is an option. So yeah, the enemies are viral proc, they're corrosive proc, they're heat proc, and then the damage over time from the bubble. 159k. Not bad. So yeah, the Hema, is it a bad weapon? No, it's definitely not. It is definitely very good. Well, I'd say very good. I'd say it's good, but they're better burst rifles. The selling point of this weapon is it never runs out of ammo and it heals you on headshots. It's unique. But I kind of wish there was a way to upgrade infested weapons, like how there's primed weapons of Tenno weapons. There are the Kuva variants and then the Wraith variants for Grineer, and then there are Vandal versions of Corpus weapons. Why isn't there a like mutated version of, say, the Hema? I don't know. Maybe eventually that'll become a thing. I don't know, maybe the Nidus Prime will come with a Hema Prime or something weird like that. But it's definitely a good weapon. It's not horrible. So I'd say give it a try. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, in Trilby, we trust.